Hi guys, Scotty here with another DBZ Dokkan Battle video for you. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Player's Choice Battle, Stage 1, the International version. So we're going to be going ahead with this fight and trying to get the Realm of Gods mission done as well at the same time. So all units will be Realm of Gods. We don't have the physical UI, unfortunately, as a pull, so we're using a different leader. If you do have him, run him as the main lead, but we are going to bring a Rainbowed physical UI friend. So I'll have the team up on the left there with all the info that you need, and we're going to jump right into the first stage here. So there are going to be 5 phases for you to get done. First phase is going to be against just base form Goku. We're kind of going through Goku all the way up to his UI phase, so that's kind of the theme. So firstly it's going to be Goku, and he just does a million super attack, so nothing crazy here. This should be quite easy. We're going to jump to the next stage. Okay, moving on to Super Saiyan God Goku, he's going to be firing a 3 mil super attack 3 times per turn. He always fires the super at slot 0, slot 1 and slot 2. Slot 0 is where you haven't attacked yet in slot 1, so he'll always do super right at the beginning of the turn. And then he lowers your defense on super. So if you hit slot 1 twice, that is a 50% defense lower on both. So yeah, you can hit that unit quite hard if we don't have someone dodging in that turn. In that slot, so do just watch out for that. But these earlier stages don't have a ton of health, which is great, so we're going to rely on, hopefully you've got AGL UI on the second turn, and then that'll be his guaranteed dodge, so just watch out for that. You get a nice guaranteed turn of evasion with AGL UI, and I think even Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta should survive in slot 1 with his limited time boost. Let me just not forget to mention that those 2 units do have a limited time boost. We're not too sure when that is going away, so yeah, hopefully we can get this all done before those 2 units go away, and yeah, that won't be as useful. UI Goku will still be useful. He can still just dodge and he won't do much damage, but he can still just dodge and revive. But yeah, right now you can see he's doing nice damage as well, and that's great. The 2 of them are very, very nicely paired together. And yeah, I suppose here we'll see, and no damage. Vegeta is really, really great. So yeah, we'll move on from Super Saiyan God Goku, and we'll jump into the next, which is Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Okay, so moving on to Super Saiyan Blue Goku here, we've got a 3.3 mil super being fired once per turn, and he's going to have his damage reduction rate raised when his HP is 50% or less, so you'll start doing a little bit less damage to him, and he gets attack plus 7% with each attack you do to him, as well as defense plus 7% with each attack you do to him, both of them up to 59%, so he'll be ramping that 3.3 mil up to, what's that, about 4.8 mil super, eventually a little bit more than that because of the 9%. So he'll ramp that up and he'll start hitting a bit harder. Nothing too stressful to worry about here. We're not really going to see a gigantic leap in HP values just yet. That is going to be later on reserved for AGL UI Goku. So we still have 200 million HP, which is nice. Means we can burn through that quite quickly with our units here. And you'll see that we are giving him extra attack every single time that we attack him. But yeah, we've got a lot of dodge on this team, and we've got some very hard hitting units on here. We've got that awesome super easy A for Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta at the end. He can hit very, very hard. We've got the ROF, the Resurrection Frieza, Super Saiyan Blue Boys here as well. I know a lot of people were disappointed with that easy A, but they're actually great. They can do quite well. They do a lot of damage, and there's us dodging the super. No issues whatsoever. So I want to just say as well here, try save any actives, everything. Don't use anything. Don't switch to Vegeta on physical UI or at all, and waste that turn of damage reduction just yet. We want to do everything from the 5th phase, which is AGL UI. That's when we're going to want to activate everything and do as much damage as possible. But that is the end of Super Saiyan Blue Goku. We're going to move on to not Super Saiyan, UI Goku next. Well, UI Sign. Okay, so on to Goku Ultra Instinct Sign here. He's going to be firing a 6.45 mil super, so we're ramping up a little bit in terms of damage. He does that once per turn. His damage reduction rate is going to go minus 7% with each turn passed, so he should get easier to damage. And same thing with his attack, going minus 7% within a turn with each attack received. So every time you hit him, he will do a little bit less of an attack, all the way to negative 35%, and damage reduction rate minus 7% with each turn passed, no more than 21. So he should get easier and easier to kill, and he also can evade your attacks. He's got a 10% chance to do so. but again, he is only 250 mil health, so nothing crazy, so nothing more than a turn or two really to get this done. Shouldn't be too long, and he's not doing any crazy shenanigans or anything. At this point, we want to kind of have our rotation set for Ultra Instinct at the end there, so we can do as much damage. And like I said, with we are holding off on any items or any actives, sorry, that we want to use. Don't use them. Just let them sit there until we get to the final phase. Might be a good idea to start checking certain things. So like we said, we got the rotations in order. Super Saiyan Blue evolved Vegeta, the Int one as well. He needs to take 5 hits earlier on in the fight when the damage is not so heavy, so that he can get his condition to revive, which is very, very useful. So do make sure that he takes at least 5 hits, maybe move him into harm's way a little bit earlier on in the fights, so that then when you do end up putting him second, third slot, and you may be killing the bosses a little bit too fast, you don't have to take hits later on in the much higher damage phases. So yeah, just watch out for that. And yeah, we also got the new EZA Int MUI here, having his awakening, and we're going to be able to see super attacks for 4 turns. Well, every time he comes in for 4 turns from his entrance, we can see super attacks. We're going to have an 80% chance to dodge, 87% actually, and guaranteed evasion as well on his first turn. So very, very nice unit, hits very hard, and yeah, such a cool unit, being a very cool EZA. You don't really have a choice about when he's going to transform, so it's kind of just luck of the draw. Hopefully you can get to the, depending on when he comes in, like if he comes in on the 7th slot, you may be able to get to final phase with him and then have his awakening there, and then you get a guaranteed dodge on that turn, which would be very, very nice. But yeah, not a train smash at all. It's such a high chance to dodge for a long time, and yeah, we've got very high dodge chance characters here, and that does bring up a point that sometimes you unfortunately do just catch a stray super and the unit that you want to dodge doesn't dodge, and that can just happen. So there is a little bit of an amount of luck involved in these fights, and it can just go that way, unfortunately. It does suck when you've been in there for 9 or 10 turns and you just catch a stray super and die, and there's no revive or anything like that. So yeah, it can happen, does suck. But that will be Goku Ultra Instinct Sign, and we'll move on to the final phase now, which will be Mastered Ultra Instinct. Okay, once we get to AGL UI Goku here, he's going to be doing either a 4.2 million super or a 4.9 million super. He can randomly select between the two, and he'll be launching 2 supers per turn. He raises his attack on super in that turn only for 30%. So after the first super, its next super will hit bit harder, and he gets an attack plus 35% and a defense plus 35% with each super attack he performs. So he will be pretty much ramping up like 70% every turn, so that does start becoming a problem later on, especially. So nothing wrong with popping a wheeze later on, or that I would try avoid it for a turn or two if you really are worried and you just want to get this out of the way, and that nothing wrong with having the wheezes active. But yeah, early on you should be okay, and a lot of our characters we are relying on dodge anyway, so swap over to the Vegeta side of the Super Saiyan Blue boys here rather, so that we can get that guard for 4 turns, so that if we do end up missing a 8% dodge, we have 70% damage reduction plus guard, so we should be a-okay with Goku sitting in slot 1 there. Yeah. This Goku does have 1.2 billion health, so it can be a longer fight with, you need to do high damage, and we really want to kill him within like 4 or 5 turns. I'd say getting to turn 10 and we're going over that is kind of, unless you're just dodging everything, Goku is going to be hitting you very, very hard at that point with the extra attack plus 35% with each super attack, so 70% every turn. So yeah, just watch out for that. We're going to try to do as much damage as we can as quickly as possible. And yeah, let's move on to the next part of the turn quickly. Okay, so we've saved all of our actives that we could for the final phase here with all the massive amount of health we've got to get through. So we're going to switch over to Vegeta now, and we're going to activate his actives, get a nice big burst of damage, as well as we're going to get a key sphere with him, which will give us 77% damage reduction for the rest of this turn only, and we have that 30% before attacking. So we know there's a super attack coming, but with 77% plus the 30%, we have over 100% damage reduction, so Vegeta will be absolutely fine. He'll get to do some stupid amount of damage in the fight, and then we see the super attack also coming at the end thanks to our awakened MUI Goku, and we'll slap him at the end there. We'll have to rotate him off, unfortunately, just so we know we have a much bigger chance of actually surviving that because we're going to dodge. But yeah, we'll let Vegeta do a ton of damage here. He should hit very, very hard. Big damage turn for him, and this is going to help us get through hopefully around half of the boss's health, so we're not sitting around here too long. So when you do eventually awaken the RF blue boys here into just Vegeta, do make sure that you give them as many rainbow orbs, key spheres as you can, because that is going to give him extra damage reduction. It's going to give him extra crit chance, going to give him a bunch of stuff. So he does want pretty much just 2 rainbow orbs, and that should give him everything that he needs for his turn. So yeah, just make sure you are doing that, and you should be absolutely fine with him. But we're going to keep relying on dodge here pretty much, and we still have guard with the damage reduction of 70% with Goku here in case he does actually fail a dodge on 80%, which can happen. But yeah, I think he would be fine here. It's just a little bit later we might have to start looking at what's going on with how much higher the damage is going to get. It is at this point that you might feel some of the turns you slow down with your damage, unfortunately, and we just have to kind of grind it out and do what we can. If you really are struggling with the damage portion of it, you could bring an item. You could bring something like the Bulma item that gives you an extra attack plus 25% for 5 turns. You could bring some attack boosting items just to hit a little bit harder. Here we're going to pop a Whis just for the Super Saiyan Blue evolved Vegeta. I don't think he is going to be surviving this at this point. Could be wrong, but we only end up using 1 Whis. I'm sure you very likely could do it with this team without using any support items at all. We're just making sure we get the dub for the video. But yeah, I doubt you need to use an item, but you can obviously use items if you want to. Never a problem with that. So yeah, we're just going to go to the next turn here after this damage. Okay, we're getting really close to ending off here. We still have the Whis active, so we're mortal with the STR Blue Goku there with his 70% damage reduction as well. And the rest of our turn is just going to be dodge, and very high percentage to dodge. So we should be absolutely fine. Clean this up, and then I think we should be finishing off in the final stage. We should be finishing up in turn 11 there. We do have a Dokkan attack coming up as well, which can help, and yeah, see you in the next turn. For the final turn here, we're just going to rely on physical UI's dodge, the friend unit, and we should be able to finish that up before Goku even gets to Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta. So if you are worried, you could pop another Whis here. We should have another item, but I think we're going to be absolutely fine, and we get the EX, so we get the guaranteed dodge, and we're going to be fine for the rest of the turn. I'll leave you with the rest of the fight, but this is how you get Stage 1, the international version, done with Realm of God's team. And thank you so much for watching. I'll check you guys in the next one.